Some of you may not know that the very first state fair for Ohio was at Camp Washington in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1850. Attendance for the three-day event was estimated at 25 to 30,000 people, and admission was only 20 cents. In 2006, there were over 814,000 people that visited the Ohio State Fair. This Ohio State Fair contributes as much as $280 million to our state's economy. The Ohio State Fair was moved to its present location, the Ohio Exposition Center, in 1886. Important dates: 1903, the 45-foot butter cow was constructed and exhibited at the Ohio State Fair. 1924, the first Queen contest. 1925, the All-Ohio Boys Band was formed. The 1929 is probably our most important date to remember because that was the year that the very first junior fair was formed, and it has continued to grow. Today, the Ohio State Fair hosts one of the largest junior fairs in the nation with a whopping 17,000 plus youth participation rate. 1957, this is the first year that the Ohio State Fair had a female judge for the Yorkshire Swine Show, a Mrs. Maurice Neville. 1968, this was the first annual sale of champions, with the highest bid being $22,674. The 1996 sale of champions brought in a record $212,000 in sales. 1972, the Ohio State Fair had a fire during the American Dairy Show, which resulted in the building of the Gilligan Complex and the O'Neill Swine Center. You can't see the whole fair in one day, but let's give it a good try. Today I've started my fun tour with the butter cow that has been an icon of the State Fair since 1903. You may also note that Ohio is the #1 producer of Swiss cheese, something that I certainly didn't know. But the real reason I'm coming here first is not for the butter cow, but for the milkshakes, and they are right over here. We're now stopping briefly at the OVMA Birthing Center. This is a rather new attraction for the fair and is of great interest to not only grown-ups but many youngsters too. Another great thing about the Ohio State Fair is that information is readily available. This booth behind me is an excellent example. And another favorite stop, elephant ears. Non-fattening, of course.
Yep.
Building. Various projects by Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, 4-H, FFA, and other youth groups. This is a very interesting building. It has lots of handmade projects by kids that are very young, and I can't even drive a nail. One of my very, very, very best favorites, lemonade shakes. Get them cold. Standing in the ever-popular food pavilion, and it is air-conditioned. thing about the Ohio State Fair is this is day one, and already there's a fantastic beef show going on. These youngsters really are at it.
All right, so what are we guessing for you today, ma'am? Are we going to be getting your age, your weight, or your birthday month?
You wouldn't dare. We are now here in the O'Neill Swine Building, and I am talking to Mr. Dave Runyon, who is the swine superintendent at the Ohio State Fair.
We got a big one here, Judy. This is our big boar contest. This Duroc boar, they say, is weighing 1,110 pounds, which I think is pretty close. 1,110 pounds. Bigger than the average bear, we'd say. Almost as big as a bear. This is a purebred Duroc boar from the Schlosser family here around Plain City, Ohio. They actually do use this boar and have used him for breeding purposes in the last 6 months, they say. So we don't question that. But we have had the pigs exhibited here at the fair the last couple of years out of this boar. So he's an active breeding piece at this huge weight.
Where does he go from here?
Okay, he'll go back to the farm. They just simply bring him in as a big boar exhibit. The way we do that, they have to make their entries by June 20th, as all the other entries do. And then we actually go out and look at the animals, and only look. We do not try to actually weigh. From that standpoint, we verify that this animal is really close to this 1,100 pounds, and they did go to the scales. They had the weigh ticket, and they verified this. When they finish, they'll take the boar back home and probably put him back into production, I would imagine.
I am now standing in front of probably the 3 oldest public buildings on the Ohio State Fairgrounds. When I first started coming here, this is very reminiscent of what all the buildings look like. To my far end, that building is now containing our poultry and our rabbit and so forth exhibits of the small animals. The middle building is antiques. The far building is a commercial building, filled with gadgets and items I didn't know existed, and certainly didn't know I wanted to take some home. We're now standing in front of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, a must-see exhibit. Come on in. One of the best events that I always remember from the Ohio State Fair, fireworks every night. Don't miss them.
Down the Road is brought to you in part by Prince Agra, makers of Omnigen AF, advancing animal nutrition for healthy animals, and Woodruff Enterprise of Springfield, Ohio.